unplug your external camera, then replug it back in.
Yeah, I unplugged and plugged it back in about 3 times now. Doesn't do a thing. Um, let's see. Hello, everybody. Am I live?
Yes, you're live. Everything's good. I can hear you.
Okay. All right, here we go. Param Jyoti Shrama Bhagavan, Param Jyoti Shrama Bhagavan. Channel everything I need and they need through me for them, please. Good morning, everybody from Thailand. We had a little bit of technical difficulty with my camera, but we got it sorted out. I have my first question. What is the core energetic focus of collection 12? Every collective is designed to hold on a second, because I don't know the name of the collective by numbers. I don't do anything well with numbers. In any case, every collective is specific to the topic that I've given. I don't know what collective 12 is, because I don't know what the number means. So
Hey Grant, the time is right there. It's collective 12, Mid-Year Emotional Detox.
Okay, thank you. Clear your emotional detox. Okay, so now I know what I'm talking about. Emotional detox is really important. All day long, every day, as you look out at the world, okay, for instance, we have approximately 11 million sensory receptors on a human body. And 10 million of them, of the 11 million, are relegated to your eyes. So imagine your body and your brain and your subconscious mind, the entire field, all of it put together like a giant keyboard. When you wake up in the morning and you go out into the world or into your room, in your kitchen or anywhere, and your eyes are drawing in information. Now, the brain is bringing in about 40 million bits of information, but your brain deletes all of it so that you don't see it. You only see what you're looking for at a rate of 40 bits per second. 40. Now, what that's sort of like is if you just have this gigantic keyboard and every key touches off a trigger or a memory, a judgment, a name, a quality, a good, a bad, everything. Imagine a blind guy in front of this huge keyboard, and he just starts hitting keys, and everything's getting triggered off. Now, emotional detox, each one of those things, if there's a perception, there will be an emotion that goes with it. And the emotion is the real frequency, eh? So the more emotion there is, the stronger the frequency. That's one of the big issues. But you're gathering that stuff. When you're touching off the keys, they don't, some of them get processed, others don't. So you accumulate it. And then if you're not a real strong person, emotionally stable and in a higher state, a higher state means fundamentally happy and feeling secure. Your energetic field has holes, a lot of big gaps, especially right at your anus, at the bottom of at your bottom. That's a major hole, which is the chakra system that ties into the center of the earth. And there's another big hole at the top above your head. And negative entities that resonate with the same frequency that your state is, if your state is low, they come in. They can come in because there's nothing to stop them. How do they select you? They just select by frequency. So if you're really angry and or really scared or really something, there's that has its frequency. And if there's some negative entities right there in that area, let's say you get real mad and you're in a sort of a like a seedy sort of a dark bar where a lot of negative energies like to accumulate, or you go to some real filthy bathroom, like a restaurant or some place somewhere, dirty or not dirty, negative low frequencies like to hang out there. Low frequency energies don't hang out at the beach on a sunny day. You understand? So that stuff all comes in, and as it comes in and it accumulates, it starts to affect your physiology, your psychology, your perception. And the more that's in there, it takes a lot of your energy to deal with it and hold it and sustain it. So when you go to the emotional detox, that means we're going to clean the house, wipe it clean, like taking dirty dishes that are all encrusted with stuff, and we're going to make them spit and span. And that removes pain. A lot of the negative energies or entity, they cause pain, lots of pain, um, lots of inflammation. If they're there and they're strong for a long time, the epigenetic effect will be heavy duty disease or tumors. When I was in college, when I went back to college in my late 40s to become a doctor, and I saw what was going on there, it upset me so much. I developed heavy cataracts on both eyes till I went in 2019. I went functionally blind, and I had to have them removed because the epigenetic effect is growing. And the reason it's growing is perception, and that perception is all tied to the negative emotion. See, all this stuff, everything is entangled. So the emotional detox at midpoint right now is really, really good for you. It's exceptionally good for you, for all of your health and your psychology. There's so much now that's impacting you, and most of it is below your consciousness. A lot of my clients are waking up and they feel, myself included, they wake up and there's like they can't put their finger on it, but they just don't feel well. There's something wrong. They just feel something's wrong. That's the global collective field. That's what we're going to be working on in the full moon Seba for July. That's the global collective. We're all part of that. We're like a cell in the global collective that makes the global collective. So when there's war and fear and anger and all kinds of stuff, you're a part of that. So it affects you. It's below consciousness, so you don't know exactly what it is or why it's occurring. But that's what's going on. So I'm going to go in and clean the slate, wash all the dishes, so you feel better. That increases your energy, and it helps you deal with the rest of the year, because everything is escalating. And I got news just this week. The Kali Yuga Iron Age is not fully ended yet. It's the golden age and Kali Yuga. They're at the same time, and they'll finally the golden age part will exceed the Kali Yuga ending. But it doesn't just. It's not like a point in time. I sort of thought for a while it would be, but it's not. So I hope I answered that question. How do you get low energy out of the body? There's a number of ways on your own that you can get the low energies out of your body. Okay. The best, there are two substances which clean your body. Nowadays, for at least 2, 3 decades now, incense, which was traditionally used by, say, the Native American Indians and different spiritual practices around the world, would use incense to clear the field. That doesn't work anymore. The negative frequency entities and everything are way too strong. So there's two substances: sea salt, Himalayan sea salt, any sea salt, and mud. The best kind of mud is clay. And um, let's say you're lucky enough to have a bathtub. We don't have those kind of things in Thailand. They'll have a bathtub, but they can't heat all the water. Well, anyway, you can use Epsom salts because sea salt would be too expensive. You get a big bag, real big bag of Epsom salts. You put that, you pour the whole bag into a tub of good hot water, and you get a little bottle of hydrogen peroxide, and you dump that whole little bottle in there, and you get a little box of baking powder, and you throw that whole box in the water, and you super saturate it with the salt, and then you soak for 15, 20 minutes, a half an hour, and that'll completely cleanse the energy systems of your body very, very, very well. Detox you on a biologic level, and it'll really knock the negative energies in that out in a big way. You can go to a tree and discharge into a tree. And the best way to do that is get bare feet on the ground at the base of the tree and both your hands on the tree. And then with your mind, as you breathe in, you draw energy from the ground through both the feet, up your legs, all the way up. And then as you breathe out, you're discharging all the negative energy, everything into the tree. You breathe out. When I discharge, I always breathe out through my mouth. I never breathe out through my nose. Can breathe in through the nose. But so you're making a circuit up through the ground, up, then out. And as you go, you can add like an image of like a color, like a gray or a black, or if you have inflammation, like a red, and it's all going into the tree. Do that 11 times. That will help you cleanse your energy. You can go, if you just came from some kind of a negative place where you felt the energy is not so good. If you have, and this is glass, glass, sea salt, and you have it in the car, before you get in the car, you wave that all around you. All around you. It'll help clean your field. So I hope I answered that question. Those, and earth is the same thing, Mud. Mud and salt are very important for cleaning your house. Are our emotions directly related to the running programs, or are they a side effect? Oh, I like this question. Once I was able to notice the programs, the emotions attached to them showed up as well. Yeah, it's all entangled, Kimberly. It's all completely entangled, when you see me, when you're getting depth healing work, what we're doing is systematically changing the database in your subconscious, and that's every time you see me, that's rearranging your brain and the neural nets, and the perceptions and the relationships. And then when you're dealing with the 81,000, only the divine can change a program. So depth healing is like an adjunct to support and help anyone that's in the 81,000. If you're doing work like that, depth healing is a support system. Depth healing was taught to me by Bhagavan. There's no doctor or anybody that knows what I know. That's all from Bhagavan. So the program, the whole program, that's where the divine will change, and then the whole world changes. Your whole life changes. Everything changes. That's what they did to me in 2014. That's why I'm in Thailand, right? So a couple of my clients now have been reporting these miracles. They finally received them. It took a while, like 2 years, and their entire life is 360 degrees, completely different, utterly different. That's the divine. What I'm doing is surgical extractions, specific surgical extractions. Let's see. Our emotions. So what's the next question? Shiba, does the emotional detox help with things that may trigger bad memories? Yes. Bad memories, negative emotions are exactly what I'm going to be. This is exactly what I'm going to be detoxing. We're going to punch a great big hole in them. And if we have a large number of people, we punch a bigger and bigger and bigger hole. See, we punch a huge hole because remember, in the collective, I'm able to access, let's say there's a negative emotion of anger. I'm accessing anger to the field of the entire collective at one time. So that's enormous. So we're punching a hole in it. And remember now, I'm always able to punch the hole relative to what your subconscious and field and emotions will allow. Okay, you've all heard of a lady. She was raped by her father, but she has no memory of it. Why? Because it's too much. So it's buried and it's walled off. One of my frequencies is called, what is the exact name of that? There is an encapsulated. When I see the frequency encapsulated, that means it's very painful and it's shielded. And sometimes I can get inside the encapsulated shield, inside the capsule, to see what's buried there. So whenever we're working together, I can get what is able to be exposed. That's why the collective is so valuable, because if you have something deep in you that you can't look at, the other person may have it and they can look at it. And when we ask the question, what can be exposed will be exposed. That's the beauty of morphic field physics. Vanessa, I feel in this present month a very low energy in the environment and confusion. You are not kidding. Vanessa, you're very, very accurate. You know, there are people, the vast majority of people don't want to know the truth. They don't want to know. They like to think it'll just go away. That's what people do with cancer, and it kills them. When the pandemic was coming, long before I predicted and showed and taught all about it to prepare my people, and the majority of them, at least in the California area, they all quit or ran away because they're gutless. They can't take it. They don't want to know. Well, right now you got to know, because there's what's going on now. There is no going back, and there's no choice whatsoever. And that's all centered on the AI situation, and then the war and all that stuff. But with the AI changes, the life will, the world is completely out of human hands. And the problem is, because of what you're feeling, is no human being or a group of scientists or anybody actually knows what's going to go on. And it's just happening on its own. So I'm not going to talk about it further here, but getting emotionally detoxed out. And then after today, when you go to the emotional detox, don't think that that's a done deal. You get in to see me privately and work in your personal fields, and you stay on top of this, because the process is absolutely necessary, and it's endless. That keyboard I told you about at the beginning of the collective, that's endless. Just by the age of 7, you have 10 quadrillion bits of information. 10 quadrillion. And that's just to the age of 7. Why is that important? Because that first 10 quadrillion, none of it belongs to us. And so it's the basis of everything else. So there's no end. So when if you have me, use me, because nobody else can do what depth healing does. That's just a fact. Depth healing is unique. It's a channeled system from the divine, and it's unique. Okay, next question. Are emotions caused by thought programs different than emotions felt in the heart? No. That's all of this, Kimberly, is one set. It's all one set. That's why it's so difficult for people. When people go to like a regular therapist, it's so useless 99.9% of the time. Why? Because they're only functioning through the frontal cortex. Now, if they use hypnosis, if the client can be hypnotized, and they're real good, step by step, they can really help the person. But otherwise, all they do is work in storyland, and it's all interconnected and entwined. That's why when you see me, when I say what will reduce, we don't say remove until the very end. Every time we ask the question where it's a reducing, that means we're working on entanglements. The entanglements that are specific to the question we're looking at. Because without knocking out the entanglements, you won't get it. That's why, when they remove breast cancer, so they remove the breast, 5 years later it's back, and it kills her. Removing the breast didn't remove. There's too many other causal entanglements, and regular physical science just looks at the physical. It's useless. Okay, how do you identify emotional blockages that may need? Very easy. To identify these things, you ask a question. Like, for instance, if you just ask the question, if we were in a session, Sheba, and you say, do I have anger in my field? You'll get the answer yes. Then we find out how much. And then if we want to go deeper, we can say, what is the cause of the anger? And it might be related to your best friend. So then we say, when did you first download the program or the imprint that formed the foundation of that kind of anger related to her? And we trace it back and trace it back. Like a detective, we find it, we eliminate it. Did I answer your question, honey? What challenges do we face during the emotional detox process? How can they? You don't have to face anything when you deal with me. Depth healing removes the challenges. With depth healing, just like working with Shriyama Bhagavan or Jesus or any divine, you just receive. All you have to do with depth healing with me, whether it's a private, collective, or anything, is simply show up and want. You have to want to heal or change or transform. That's all. This depth healing is a service treatment. It's nothing that you have to face. Okay? Next question. I love these questions. Very good. What is the best way to integrate the energy and healing from this collective into daily life? All you have to do, with depth healing, when the session is done, it's done. The brain has changed. The perceptual field has changed. Everything has changed. There's only one thing that all of the great, the founder of BEST, Ted Morter, Dr. Habersky, my master, Joel Danoff, one of the greatest, best doctors on the earth, will tell you. When you have, at least in the original BEST, once you have a clearing or a session, try not to think the same way. A good example of this is a breakup with a boyfriend or girlfriend. All of us that are past the age of 16 know when you have a breakup with a lover and you separate, if you guys, after a few months, if you get together and make love, and once in a move, it stirs everything back up. So that when you make a break, like when I do an energy exchange to separate people, we always say for 72 hours, don't connect to that person, think about that person, or talk to that person, and allow that to settle itself. But that's all. Otherwise, the change is the change. It's done. We move on to the next change according to whatever is going on in the person's life. Okay? Good question. Shiva, what maintenance practices do you recommend to ensure the benefits of emotional detoxing are sustained over time? That's one of my most favorite questions, Shiva. So thank you for asking that. At least once a month, you get in to see me, just like me. I get worked on formally once a week, every single Saturday in my process with Shriyama Bhagavan from India. When I was still in America, I used to see Dr. Habersky anywhere from once a week to sometimes 3 times a week for 8 years. What I'm recommending for you guys is at least once a month. You come in and you clean your field. If you don't, you just accumulate junk. And like one of these scientists that I was listening to just yesterday, about he's one of the most famous scientists in the world today. And he said, and it's true, the only way human beings learn anything is when they get punched straight in the face. Once a fist drives their teeth through the back of their head, they wake up. It's a hell of a way to live. With AI, they'll never do it. So the way to stop cancer is don't get cancer in the first place. The way to stop dementia is don't get dementia in the first place. The way to keep your body healthy is take care of your body. So taking care of yourself emotionally, physically, psychologically, spiritually, you get in to see me, and I'll handle it. That's what depth healing was created for. That is the way to do it, honey. That's the power way to do it. If all the other different ways were so good, you wouldn't see hundreds of millions and billions of people who are all a mess. Okay? Now, what is happening behind the scenes on the quantum level what is happening behind the scenes on the quantum level during a collective? What a beautiful question. Let me repeat that question. What is happening behind the scenes on the quantum level during a collective? I love that question. So that I can talk for a long, long, long time. So, one, you have to understand the sacred space that I create. I wake up at 4, and before the collective or before my privates, I do a few hours of special mantras and prayers and connecting to and worshiping and with the divine. So when you come to the collective, that you are tuned into the divine, and the divine, I turn it all over to the divine. Then the divine, because of my bond, is operating throughout the entire session through me for you. So when I sit down to start the collective or any session, I do not know what the questions will be and what to do. So it's all piped into me in real time. It's really cool. It's all piped in. And that connection now is stronger and gets stronger all the time. Way back 12 years ago was not like that. There was a lot more of me, but now there's like nothing of me. So that's all going on. And then in the quantum field, all of the people in the collective have been corralled so that a emergent property of consciousness is created relative, or it emerges relative to the collective, the people there. And that acts like a Google Cloud. And then I'm operating with my technologies guided through by the divine. I'm the relay station, and I'm operating in that cloud relative to the subject of that collective. So this is super, super sophisticated, very high level stuff. Okay, what is the golden age? Ooh, hello, Vanessa. Well, there were 3 different kinds of golden age, and we are only going to be able to have the last one. So what I'll do, because the question is what is the golden age, I will only say what the positive side is. And like Bhagavan, and the positive side goes like this. During the golden age, there will be no work. No one will have to work for money or to live. All the jobs, it'll all be gone. So you'll be able to do what you want to do. And that is now fully being discussed by all the nations of the world, because they all know that that's exactly what's going to happen. There will be no jobs and Everything will be done by the machines, so you don't have to work. So that's supposed to be the good side, and then you can live according to what you like. And that's why I'm teaching now, and I'm going to be teaching whether people like what's absolutely necessary is understanding what that means, and that's um, integral life internal to yourself. So I will be teaching and showing that, and I'm accepting students as mentors. Uh, I will mentor them personally if they want to have a teacher. Um, at all times, you got to have a teacher. I never ever in my life was without my teachers ever. Is vitally important. Unfortunately, it's all people will start to learn from machines. So I'm not going to go into that because there's too many angles, and the question is the golden age. That's what that means. So the entire world and way of living will be completely changed. You often mention the higher self. What's the relationship between the higher self and collective healing work? Well, to tell you the truth, I don't recall ever mentioning the higher self. Most New Age type of people, they talk about the higher self and they don't have a clue what the hell it is. As far as higher self goes, if you look at an enlightened person or an awakened person, and none of us are, including myself, then what you're thinking of or what they talk about as a higher self, someone like Eckhart Tolle, that's when the small I, the individual I, is removed. So you are unplugged from mind. We're all fully plugged into mind. So don't worry about a higher self or anything. Just focus on evolving. Okay? What message do you have for those who feel stuck or disconnected even after doing deep spiritual work? I love this question. Let me read it again. What message do you have for those who feel stuck or disconnected even after doing deep spiritual work? Stick with it. Stick with it. As Bhagavan says, there's nowhere to go. There's no place to go. So you have to stick with it until you arrive, until the divine lifts you up, changes your consciousness, changes your programs. There's nothing specifically that you can do. Advanced freedom and life has got to be given. So any one of us and any of our goals or anything you want to do, that is a speck being influenced by the entire universe at any one point in time. The mathematics has actually been written for that and peer reviewed. So don't just stay with your process. Can you explain the concept of quantum resonance and how it relates to the emotional? Yes. Okay, Sheba, what a beautiful question, honey. So again, I want you to think of tuning forks, eh? Now, if you have a real nice high frequency tuning fork, and let's say that frequency relates to love or gratitude, and that's your primary state. Now, you walk into this big warehouse and it's filled with millions of different kinds of tuning forks. And when you activate your tuning fork and it starts to vibrate, only other tuning forks, regardless of their size or dimension, only the ones with the same frequency will start humming. All the others are still. Now, if you walk in, if something happens suddenly, and instead of that tuning fork, you hit the tuning fork of deep depression and heavy anxiety, and you're in the warehouse. The warehouse is the world, right? The tuning forks for heavy depression and anxiety, they start humming, and all the good ones don't. So the resonance is very simple. They're in resonant frequency together, and they start to buzz. When they start to buzz out there, over there in the field, they're connected. Just like when I work with you, we're connected. It doesn't matter where you are, where your body is, we're connected. So I affect your frequency, your emotion, your health, your anything, whatever we look at from here. Same thing with the negative for emotion or whatever. It's all inside you, in your field, in your consciousness, and then it gets activated. If it's not, when we're removing trigger, if the trigger is not there, it will not get activated. Okay? If you could give one instruction or mantra to repeat after, Mula mantra. If you want a mantra, you always refer to the Mula mantra. Always. Go straight to the Mula mantra. For sure. I do hundreds and hundreds of thousands of Mula mantra. But some people with a much stronger bond than me, they just have access to miracles right away. But always go to the Mula mantra. If you want a mantra, that is the thing to repeat. Next question. These are excellent questions, folks. I'm loving this. Great way to start my day. What's one thing you wish everybody deeply understood about healing? The thing that I want you to all understand about not only healing, but about everything is the process is never ending. Is never ending. Nothing ever ends at all. Even the great all that is, which is unknown and unknowable, let me repeat that, it's unknown and unknowable, can only be known or experienced through its manifestation. It's like electricity. Nobody can look at or know electricity. But if the light turns on, you know electricity is there. That's how they know. But otherwise, it's unknown. It's known by its manifestation. It's the same thing with actual God is unknown and unknowable. A single one of your cells will never know you. You are unknowable to that cell. So what I want you to understand is there's no event like you get a clearing of something and you think it's all gone. No, it's only gone according to what would show up in your field at that time. Your field is like the Pacific Ocean. It's so big. So don't worry about an event. I've been doing my healing continuously for 67 years. And I'll keep doing it. And when I'm dead and gone, it continues in the other realm. How will our work with you be influenced after joining the 81,000? Wow, what a beautiful question, honey. Well, the 81,000 now has never been more important. and they have initiated the special plan for global help, where they take us. We were specially trained, hand selected, specially trained people were being put into a groups of 30 to do specialized work. Now, with me, what I'm doing is making it easier for you to receive grace, easier for you to move forward with the 81,000, because I'm able to go in and pinprick all the little things that are blocking the divine grace. See, a divine grace always wants to come to us, but it's blocked. Dr. Ted Morter, the founder of BEST, he used to draw a diagram to show all of these shells around us that block the divine grace. So with me, I'm assisting them by pinpricking the specifics of your field, which allows the divine grace to come through. Does that make sense? Can you explain how depth healing works in the context of group collectives versus, as I've said many, many times, but it's always worth repeating. When you have a collective, so we're gonna, let's say we're gonna go for an emotion like anger. When you have a collective, the collective conjoins all of the fields of all the people at the same time. So it's like the people in the collective, each one is a laptop, and the Google Cloud is the field that group of computers makes. So when I ask the question, a specific question, that question is being fielded by the entire collective. So we have so much to look at. It's hard to miss something. When we have a private, I'm going vertically down inside a person. When I have a collective, we're doing big horizontal sweeps. I hope I answered that question, because I've spoken about it a great many times. Does this emotional detox affect the karma field? Yes, to a certain degree. Karma requires big karma. It requires divine intervention. So what we're doing is, let's say you did something and the emotion around it, now you have regret. So when I'm removing the regret, that will help with the karma that would come from the regret. So it's a type of healing. But there are so many kinds of karma, and we have our karma, but then your home can have a karma, your neighborhood, your city, that country. There are karmas and karmas and karma. So the trick with that is, the more connection with the divine, the better. Okay, because I'm working very specifically in your personal field of programs 3, 4, and 5, from your conception until whatever age you are now. The other huge programs, what I do is I have the empowerment for prayer now, and I do the prayer, and that ties in the divine to move your specific karma in the big programs, like say the 7th program, astrology. Does that answer your question? Does anybody else have any questions? Anything else? This has been very lovely for me. Thank you very, very, very much. Love these questions. So the bottom line is, I have the power of prayer now. I've received those empowerments, and I just got another upgrade just a couple of days ago. And so I didn't realize they're going to be doing that. So all of a sudden I had a call, is a 2-hour empowerment session. So get in to see me and spread the word about these things. Collectives have power, more power, depending on the people, how many people. And be sure to tie in with the full moon save us. Tell everybody, because the world needs us and we need each other. Get yourself in to see me. Don't wait until you're in trouble. Keep, like brushing your teeth. You brush your teeth every day, not once every 6 months. Okay? Thank you all very much. God bless you. Bye for now.